To make a vase, workers first mined naturally occurring clay and mixed it with water in outdoor pools. Impurities in the clay would sink to the bottom. As the water evaporated, it left behind a layer of purified clay, which was then kneaded by workmen to make it more malleable. To start to form a vase, a mass of clay is centered on a potter's wheel. In ancient times, the wheel would have been rotated manually by the potter or his assistant. This modern electric-powered wheel works the same way. With his hands, the potter forms a depression in the middle of the clay. By pulling outward and upward slowly, he carefully forms the clay into the desired shape, depending on which type of vessel he is making. We don't know exactly what tools ancient craftsmen employed, but in addition to their hands, they may have used wooden and metal implements, as well as sponges, to shape and smooth the clay. The next day, when the vessel has dried slightly, excess clay is trimmed away and the surface is smoothed. A separately made foot is applied for stability. Handles made from coiled clay complete the shape of the vessel. Once the vessel has been shaped, it's prepared for painting. A fine liquid clay called slip is painted onto areas that the artisan wishes to be black. To provide a background for further decoration, an unpainted field is left here on the front side. This unpainted area will be decorated with a scene painted in the black figure technique. After the clay had dried to a leathery, hard texture, the vase painter could make a preliminary sketch in charcoal, which would disappear later during firing. Using the charcoal sketch as a guide, slip would be used to add silhouetted forms, often of human figures. Details and interior lines were then incised through the slip to reveal the lighter colored clay below. Additional details were often added using red ochre. When fired, it would turn purple to depict clothing, blood, and other details. To produce white, a pure clay with minimal iron oxide was used, often chosen to depict women's skin, marble objects, animals, and patterns. With the painting complete, the vessel was ready to be fired in a kiln. This three-step firing process lasted approximately 6 to 8 hours, but since there were no precise thermometers or accurate clocks, it required great precision and experience on the part of the craftsman. First, the temperature in the kiln was raised to about 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. By allowing air into the upper chamber of the kiln, an oxygen-rich atmosphere was created. This produced red ferric oxide in both the clay and slip, which caused both to turn red. Second, the temperature was raised further to about 1700 degrees Fahrenheit. Air vents were closed and damp wood or wet leaves were placed in the stoking tunnel of the kiln. This created an oxygen-poor and carbon-rich environment. This produced black ferrous oxide in the clay and slip, which turned both from red to black. At this point, the slip became a glossy shell that was resistant to any further changes. In the third and final step, air was permitted to enter the upper chamber of the kiln again, creating an oxygen-rich environment once more. The surface of the vessel not covered in slip turned from black back to red, and the glossy slip-covered areas, such as figures, remained black. The kiln required around 12 hours to fully cool down, after which the vases could be removed.